ESB DVD presentation. I'll hand you over to Razma and I'll explain what's going on.
Right, okay. I want to thank everybody and welcome you to this, as Bethany said, world premiere of the ESB ESOL DVD sketches video launch. And the thing is, we just thought we'd make it a fun sort of afternoon, Sunday afternoon. It's pouring with rain out there, and it's just a little thank you to the actors, the crew, and the people who worked so hard to make these videos possible. Unfortunately, quite a few actors couldn't make it today. Probably watching the boat race or something, or hopefully, no, the truth is they're actually working on other things, which is good to hear. Probably working in restaurants, but that's even better, I guess. They're getting some money rather than working on low budget, no budget productions. Anyway, I'm sorry about the delay. As with the tradition of filmmaking, we're running behind schedule and over budget. We spent so much money on the food, I think. So I'd like to welcome you all and thank you for coming from whatever. Some of you I know have come from a fair distance. A special sort of guest of honour is Susan Brown, who's pointed out. She's sat there between. There she is. Susan from the English Speaking Board. They're the people who commissioned us to make this video, and we've actually delivered all of them. Although this year, because of the nature of the thing, they're actually only going to use 15, I believe. Isn't that right, Susan?
Yeah, we've got so much material. We've got enough for this year and for next year as well.
So we've kind of turned ourselves out of a job for next year.
Sorry about that.
But we'll make up for it maybe the year after if they commission us again. But on the whole, we've had good feedback from everybody who's, not just the people who've edited it, but Susan and Stuart, who was kind of initially involved, and everybody who's seen the clips so far have been impressed with the quality, the performance of the performances from the actors, the editing, and the thing I must point out that these are slightly different from what we've given Susan. We jazzed these up a little bit. These DVDs, theirs are a bit more academic, I'd say, and we put some sort of little bits of animation in this to make them a bit more attractive. So all of the actors today will actually get their. I know it's been a long time coming, but you will get your DVDs done like this, so you can select the menu. Now there is just something to point out. The ones that are going to be released next year, we'll have a quiet word with those people, because obviously Susan doesn't want these, the ones that are going to be released next year, to be sort of on the internet and really sold in colleges, because those students will see the stuff, and it's not fair, is it? So we'll let those of you know who've got the kind of advanced DVDs. Okay. I'm here to. Do you want to talk about the performance and stuff? Just some paperwork to get through and some crack on. There's some admin stuff that we've got to start. We've got to get these forms signed. I know some of you signed release forms, one of us didn't, and we've got to get these signed before we can even show you this stuff. So it's like, if you don't sign them, you don't get to see them. Alright, do you want to talk about that, Crystal?
Yeah, basically you've got a pack. It's got a program in a voting slip and your release form. The voting slip is for the actors. So you vote for your favourite actor and actress from each section. There are two sections, the entries and the levels, and the voting split up, so it's quite easy to see once you get out which side. So the first sheet, one actor and one actress from the first one, and one from the second sheet. And that's basically it.
Okay. We'll go through it again once you get the thing. It's just a sort of fun thing that we want to do, and it's only actors and guests, no crew are allowed to vote. And basically, you vote for the best male, female, Indian category, as Crystal said. And but I don't want you to be sort of looking at your voting slips. After each video, we'll stop, and then you can get a chance to make a comment, and then categories, best male and female in each category. And then obviously we'll top those up while you're having a meal, and we'll do a presentation based on those results. And okay, right. So I'll kind of give me a chance to come up all the actors who appeared, have they all got a sheet now, yeah? Each one is on we want them to hide that's what we want that is alright. Happy meal levels of story. Yeah. Switch off all mobiles and try not to talk, please, during the screening.
So look at me.
Because it'll happen very quickly, and you need to give the person, you might not be in that particular set, but you need to give the actors who are in it full reward of their performance. And by all means, laugh for the right reasons. If it's funny, but there's fantastic performances, and that's what we put on this event, so you can all see something. And some of the people who've actually appeared in these have gone on to get bigger contracts on other big budget productions, so it's been useful for everybody. Right, okay, all the forms are in. If we get time, there is actually also a making of video, which is quite funny. It's funnier than the actual sketches. If we get time, we'll try. Maybe while you're having we'll put that on as well, so you can see what happened behind the scenes.
You forget, don't you? Good job I'm not working the window. Like you do at home.
Yeah, it's coming.
No? Never. They're not normal.
Melody's in this one. Fortunately, Lindsay couldn't make it, but nice little sketch shot of the high class. Okay, thank you, Ben. If you're wondering why there's two sides to this screen, and we've had to set it like that because some of the stuff is in widescreen, and that's why we've got the actual screen from there to there. And the other, Ash's sketch was in the aspect ratio 4:3, so we've actually gone for something in the middle there. So that's why you've got the overhang at the end there. But hopefully we shouldn't distract from your viewing pleasure. Okay, very quickly, because you just make a little notes, don't tick yet, but just because I'm not quite sure of the order these are playing in now. Seems to be a bit haphazard.
It's got the basic entry level stuff first.
Clip on. Yeah? And you haven't got a... Then do you want to just check the reception if there's thanks, please. Okay, the problem is they're actually playing that.
I'm not quite sure what we're supposed to be voting for. Is it one actress and one actor at each level?
Because I thought these would all be together, but this one's here.
Yeah. What it is, it's a dilemma because we're having to juggle these around according to, and the DVD is playing in a kind of a weird, haphazard, random way. So, what you have to do is when you've got entry 1, all those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sketches, you vote for 1 female actor, 1 male actor. Now obviously what the problem is, we were hoping to do them after each entry, after each entry level and, after each entry and then after each level. But because it's playing in a haphazard way, the best thing to do is make a little note. Give the actor a little mark, maybe out of 5 or something, and then you can make a decision sort of after we've played all of them, and then we'll do it that way. It's just the DVD's messed everything up for us because they're printed. We were actually going to use that DVD, but that sort of got broken, so we've had to hire this one in, and it's a bit difficult to work out how it's going to play. So otherwise it'll mean me stopping and starting, and I don't really want to do that. Is everybody clear then? Yeah? No? What are you actors?
There's one attention level, so is it 1 out of 4?
No, one each.
1 out of venture, 1
One male, 1 female out of venture 1, 1 male, 1 female out of venture 2, and 1 male, 1 female out of venture 1. Yeah? Okay, then we've got the prizes in a box over there, so... Oh, somebody's engraving them, but they're going to have to... Alright, I'm going to crack on. Is everybody okay, yeah? Right, Mike's then, please. I'll keep that. Can I have one of those shoes? had Ash appearing consecutively, but don't worry about that. It shows his range, doesn't it? It's my scout. Anyway, lights please. A few moments to jot down what you think of those actors, those performances. Just to sort of refresh your memories, what we'll do, we'll hand out some of the DVDs so the actors can get some time to stand up and stretch your legs a little bit, and then you'll be able to recognise which actor is which. So we'll hand out some DVDs. So in no particular order, I think they're just in order of the levels or the end levels. So. Susan, do you want... actually, we'll keep you for the prizes, I think. For the gift
What do you mean? You mean they get to take me home?
So, we're checking whether you signed a release form, and then you'll get your DVD. Okay. First up for we haven't seen him yet, so I'm not going to Yeah, we'll start with somebody we've just seen recently. James, do you want to come up and... Round of applause. You got this? Yeah. Okay. Unfortunately, Lindsay isn't with us today. He's in Hollywood. He says lying through his teeth. She couldn't make it. Chris couldn't make it. Chris Carey played opposite James. But somebody who we have seen, actually Conor Alexander, for that marvellous performance as the guy who was stuffing himself with burgers
Just like to thank the director
and all the folks back home. In fact, an actor who is so versatile, it's unbelievable what his performances are. Ash Sander. Is everybody... Oh, and we can't forget this wonderful performance in the Shopper's Rights. The sales assistant, the boy, as it were, Cam Sarver. Right, okay, I think it's time to crack on. Yeah, good stuff. So let's do some more of these trolling sketches. Oh, got a flash. You're a star already. Okay, good performance there. Owen Shaw, who was Owen Shaw, say he's Welsh, obviously. He played the guy opposite her boyfriend into when he put on a Welsh accent for one of them, which I'm sure you could understand. good performance there. Unfortunately, I think he's moving house or something, isn't he? Or is he squatting somewhere? A bit of method acting. He's not actually moving into a squat, he's actually method acting in a squat so he can do his next race performance in a squat. Anyway, you all done then? Yeah? I'll present another one while we're here. To somebody who's actually hasn't here yet, so I'm not sure now. Let's see, yeah, we'll just crack on there. Okay, folks. We've got quite a few today. Well, are you enjoying them so far?
Yeah.
Good stuff. You've got one more, a couple more, Russell, so that's why I'm not giving you anything yet. Lights, please. Spot the light so you can see what the next one is. Is everybody keeping up then? I know you have your short pens, but try and follow that. Okay. We've only got a few more to get through here. We'll just crack on. I mean, we're thinking of having a break in the middle, but I think we'll better just crack on because we're running a long time and then we can have food. Is everybody okay with that? Yeah? Good stuff, right.
Just me and Skip.
Letting the credits run so because it gives you time to make notes and stuff. No, so still. No, so it gives you a chance to see the actors. Okay, put the other lights on top. Okay, for range of performances, Melanie Dagg. That's great. Alright. Melanie was excellent in lots of them, and good to work with people like that. And very easy. Like, let's see what else was. I'm putting all the difficult ones to one side. Fiona was very good, you know, in holidays. She was excellent, and unfortunately she can't be here with us. So somebody who was excellent throughout is let's find it. Say find her, and I think Russell's right. Yeah, but he was excellent as well. A round of applause for Russell. And while I stood up, somebody else who was, in fact, she's got two because she appeared in so many, Lucy Gladwell. We're almost getting there. Two excellent actresses who had a wonderful rapport even though they met for the first time, which is similar to a lot of the actors who appear in this. There were a few that knew each other, but most of the actors actually met each other for the first time and even came from different parts of the country. But I'm sure you'll agree they were excellent. But two that had a particular rapport were Amy Shawn. Up there, and the other one was I think all the actors and crew and everybody else who helped, you need to give yourself a round of applause because it was. Well done, all of you. Okay, just hand out the last lots of these and these. Since you were in the toilet last time, I announced your name was Denham. Do you want to come and receive your DVD? Okay. Thank you. For a wonderful change in accent, Harry Phillips.
Yes. Thank you.
Right. And some of the most difficult dialogue, and she handled it extremely well at short notice. She had the longest lines and the most difficult dialogue, I think, anyway. Carol Breton. And finally, what can you say about her? Poor woman was harassed, bullied, kicked, and but she delivered a sterling performance that day, and she was under a lot of pressure with the actors, the other actors, and everybody just, all these men ganging upon her. But she delivered, and you know, I really appreciate that. Annie Robinson. Have I missed anybody? Have I missed you? We'll find it. Well, just so that we get a photograph, do you want to just pretend? Alright, but Abigail, fantastic performance as the mother of this nasty child, Damien.
It's horrible.
These photographs will obviously end up on a website on TV, so we'll try and get them to you. Obviously, I'd also like to thank the actors who aren't here today for various reasons, because without their efforts, we wouldn't have been able to achieve any of this. What we'll do now is has everybody filled in their voting slips? If you're unsure about a particular actor, just ask us and we'll tell you which. Because what we're going to do is, you're going to have your voting slips in, we'll have the food, we'll top up the scores, and we'll get Susan to present the awards afterwards. Where wants to do it? You want to just hand them over, please? Right, okay. While they're waiting for the slips to coming in. Just a quick sort of feedback from yourselves as to what you thought of your fellow actors, and without mentioning names or the performance, or do you think it was okay, good, bad, different, whatever? Anybody? Question? Raise your hand. Yeah, I suppose the difficulty is to try and when you get a commission like this, it's to combine the educational information part of it with trying to make it an engaging story, and it's very difficult to do that, and I think we've achieved it with some better than others, but on the whole it's a very difficult task to keep it engaging, because the ultimate aim of any production, any video production, is to engage the audience, whether they're in a classroom or in the cinema. So we've tried to incorporate that talent, and big thank you to the writers who are in this room. And I'll do the other thanks afterwards. But anybody else want to say anything? What do the actors feel of seeing themselves on the fairly big screen? Russell?
Great. Yeah, I really liked it. Really enjoyed it.
I thought the acting really brought a lot of the script to life. I mean, without the performances, the facial expressions, and really getting into the roles, a lot of those scripts seemed quite flat on paper, and you really brought them to life. So, well done, all of you.
Any other actors? Anybody unhappy with the performance? I mean, it's always interesting seeing yourself on the screen, and you've read something and you've seen this kind of cold camera there, and lots of crew running around and a director shouting and saying that's not right, do it again. And a lot of it, we know what we want, and we want a performance from you, and you deliver, and then it goes into the editing, and we try and make some performances better, would you believe, than they actually were, and other performances we don't have to work. You can see the editors tearing their hair out when certain performances are kind of not as to that standard. But on the whole, we do appreciate the fact that acting is a very hard skill, and you're either born, it can't really be taught, so it is difficult. But anyway, any more comments about? What about the ones who weren't in it? Did you want to say anything about what? How about you?
It's just interesting to see various actors from different roles and watching their eye movement and facial expression working with each other. That was my initial thing, but it's come back,
Anybody else?
Yeah, I quite like the humour in the scenes and the script. Like, that was really nice, and it took away the seriousness from the issues. So the humour was really good.
Right, okay, I think it's what most of you have been waiting for. Are we ready there? That's my wife, by the way, at the back there, doing the catering and helping with that. But I'm just going to point out the crew actually before crew, and I need to say a big thank you to the crew, starting with the writers that obviously putting the humour in. It was a kind of a joint collaboration between a few of us, including the guy who's a partner in the company, and who's kind of closer to me than my own shadow. And that's somebody who's got a lot of passion, a lot of dedication, never say die attitude. He gets things wrong, but don't we all? And he can forget the camera when we're on a shoot, or batteries or tapes or whatever. But without him, it wouldn't have been possible. Because he can work 24 hours without sleep, and then just drop. A guy who deserves a lot of reward, and hopefully he will, and that's Phil Rochester. I'm pointing these guys out because when you're having a food you can talk to them as well. Right, and other people who've helped, I mean my person who co-produced all of these with me and who's been watching the actors' scripts and their drama and dialogue, which allowed me time to sort of and time to keep an eye on the creative side, the technical side a lot more. She really did a fantastic job in doing that, and that's I was happy. Right, okay, and then to a whole host of people who also, I mean, I'm doing it in this order because Dali also wrote one or two of these with us, and coming on to somebody else who wrote a few of these with us, especially the very difficult one with, on ADHD, which also featured my son, Zach. It was the only one we could get a short notice. Everybody else, you know, his agent said, yeah, he's available. So, and he really attached himself to Abigail, and you know. And the amazing thing was he followed direction, and I couldn't believe the way he followed direction. He'd never acted before, and he just said, "I'll do it." And now, when they ask him in school, "What do you do at the weekend?" he goes, "I act." He keeps asking me, "Dad, when can I go and do that again?" And he's attached himself to Abigail, so he keeps asking me, "Where's my other mother?" And but anyway, somebody else who's been part of writing this and who's helped do all the food today is Shabina at the back, my wife. Going swiftly through the rest of the crew who've been fantastic, and without whom we wouldn't have been able to achieve any of this. There's a few who couldn't be here with us tonight, but somebody who's an unbelievable guy, actually. On one of we had a recent shoot, and he phoned us up and he said, actually I'll name him first of all, and his friend who's been controlling the lights today, and Corey at the back, and he's been absolutely fantastic. We'll give you a round of applause in a minute, Ben. But I wanted to point you out particularly because a few weeks ago we were doing a gardening program for a pilot for a satellite channel, and we phoned the usual suspects and said, "Look, we're doing this. Are you available?" And Ben said, "Yeah." Phil I think phoned him, and he said, "Yeah, I'm available." A few hours later he phoned us and he said, "What time is it exactly and what's the address?" And we said, "Well, where are you now?" And he said, "Montreal Airport." And he asked, and I said, "Well, you don't have to bother, Ben, we'll get somebody else." He goes, "No, I'll be there." And next day he was on location in Wakefield in the middle of nowhere without a car, and he was on location there on time, you know. And he'd flown from Canada the night before, but he's somebody you can depend on unbelievably. So big round of applause. I mean, he's a fantastic all-rounder, camera and so forth. There's other members of the crew, obviously, who can't be here, but then there's a few others who've been there and helped us whenever we needed them. And there's my good friend Martin here, who does camera whenever we want him to do camera. But he's a landscape gardener as well, so you know, Martin did some of the camera on this shoot, so a round of applause for Martin. And then, just I think finally, I've got to thank somebody else, Richard here on Saturday, who's kind of been involved in some of the camera work here and working with us on the crewing side, and he's also a Sean Bean lookalike, which is a bonus for everybody. I'm sure he gets sick of people telling him that, but yeah, I told him that. So, yeah, I look like but young Sean Bean lookalike, but you know, he's been fantastic as well. He's one of those people who's passionate about the game, and you know, stand and he'll work and not want food, and that's the kind of people we like. So a round of applause for Richard. Paul here, who's he just works silently in the background, but geez, that's fantastic amount, and he's been taking all the stills today, and so a round of applause for Paul. And then finally, I think I need to thank somebody who has actually been arranging all this today. It's the event tonight, together with the rest of us, but who's been in charge and of making sure it all goes smoothly, because we have massive problems like that. Yes, 2 days ago they told us the projector wasn't available, so we had to run around trying to get another projector. Well, this say it's in for repair, but I think it's been nicked. But we don't know. Anyway, and she's been fantastic arranging all the packs, the admin side of things, and phoning people up, and that's Crystal Sawyer on my right. That's everybody, I think. Is that everybody who wants to cover? Obviously, we'd like to thank the other people who helped us with locations, and some of them are here, some of them are. But I can't go through the whole list, otherwise we'll all die. Exactly. So, are we ready there then, food? Yeah. Okay. So, have your meal. We'll top this up. We'll have 15-20 minutes, and then we'll do the prize giving. Yeah. Thank you very much.
I always sit next to somebody flashy.
Final part of the evening, almost. Just a couple of announcements that I just want to make before we proceed. So some of you were asking me during the interval there what was happening with the feature film. Well, the first thing that I'm going to say, because I don't know if you know, but we're doing a feature film with sort of based in the north, and it's a slight dilemma with feature films because it's kind of, you have a good script to attract good actors, and they in turn attract finance. So you've got to have A-list actors initially, and then you get rid of them when you've got the finance. But anyway, this script that some of you have done workshops with me for is kind of done quite well, and we attracted Michael King, but he only wanted to work with certain actors, and when we showed him the list of actors that we had in mind, he said, "Look, I don't want to work with him." And the actors he wanted to work with weren't available on certain dates, and so it was a sort of nightmare. And then we've kind of said, no, we'll forget Michael King, Sir Michael. And now Bob Hoskins is actually reading the script, so once the top echelons are in place, then we can filter down. And so those of you who are paired in this, and obviously it was an opportunity for us to work with a whole range of different actors, will be considered eventually for roles, whatever type, in the feature film. So keep your fingers crossed. Now the other thing, we just received very good news last week. One of the short films I made as a short drama has been accepted at the Cannes Film Festival. So I'm quite sort of chuffed about that. Obviously, if you do win an award there, it won't compare with the awards you're getting tonight. But so we're pleased with that, because that does carry some weight towards getting the other things done, and so we're pleased about that. And so between May, some 15, 16, I might be going there if I can afford it, and sort of going over to see if it wins an award in competition. It's being streamed, but whether it wins an award, we don't know. So that's something that's going to happen. But the good thing is that we have got to know a lot of great people, not just on the crewing side, but on the acting side. And we purposely tried a lot of different actors because it's in our interest to get to know who's good and who isn't, and who we can work with and who we can't, and also for the actors, I suppose. And so that's been great for us, that we've actually managed to, because auditions don't tell you everything, and it's only when you actually work with people that you can actually tell who is good to work with and who can take instruction, direction well, and who is an absolute nightmare. And in fact, we've gone back to the office and thrown their CVs in the bin and said, "Fine." So the fact that you're here, so you're still in with a bit of a chance. But there's others that we've just thought, right, we're not working with them again. So it's been fantastic for us as well to kind of determine who is potentially somebody we can work with in the future, and hopefully you've got a lot out of it as well. But anyway, enough from me. I'll just hand over to Susan from the English Speaking Board, the people who commissioned us to do this, and say a few words.
Okay. I think over the last 6 months I thought that I was eating, sleeping and dreaming these videos. It's only coming here tonight and seeing what actually went into them from your end of it that I realised that my part was like 1% at the top of the iceberg. On behalf of ESB, I'd really like to thank you for the work that's gone into it, the professionalism that's gone into it, the fact that the lighting, the scenes, the quality of the photography is excellent, and the actors did a fantastic job, often with scripts which were, as Rosa said, educationally directed and it short on natural dramatic potential. It'll make it a lot easier for people who are doing examinations to watch clips from people like you really working, really speaking in a natural way, so that they can demonstrate that they understand English and can get their certification for watching real people doing real things really well. And thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Great. Okay, thank you, Susan. And what we do now is, and I'll have to do this like they do in the Oscars, I guess. Well, and the reason we didn't want to get involved in it is that if you disagree with any of this, it's your own fault. But you actors yourselves and the guests that you brought along and voted, none of the crew have had any say in this. So, you know, if you've got it wrong, that's your mistake. Right. Now, it messed up a little bit because you're supposed to vote for her levels, but people kind of didn't do that, and so it kind of, we had to do a bit of juggling. But what I'll do is I'll announce the names and we'll get Susan to present the award to the person, and if you just hold it there for a few seconds so that Paul can take a photograph. Right. Right, and these are now in no particular order, so it's just best female, best male, or whatever. So, and I just had a little bit in my comments, but they're not my votes. I'm voting for an amazing range, I'd say, and ability to grasp dialogue and kind of interpret it immediately and not be scared of lines. She was absolutely fantastic. And in the cinema, the one right at the beginning, the one at the cinema, in fact, tricks of the trade that we use, the actress Melanie, who was playing the receptionist, was given the lines about an hour before, and she'd come here for the second sketch. I phoned her and said the first actress has had a problem, can't make it. In the meantime, we're going to film with Phil doing her lines, and Phil actually did those lines. So Lindsay McBee, who's actually asking for the films, and she wants to know what films she wants to watch with her family and her awkward family, is actually playing to Phil's lines. So we shot all that, and then Melanie arrived in a cab from here, from Horsham, and we shot her reverses. So hopefully you can't tell in the editing. Did a good job in the editing, but that was good of Phil and good of Melanie too. And she just came there, read the line, said, "Right, I'll do it." And but I wouldn't have called her if I knew that she wasn't able to do that. And we've seen in the previous occasions on the service sketch that she was, and in the computer games one, that she was quick at picking up lines and getting into character. So and she has got a lot of the votes from yourself. So Melanie, best female. I'll do one male and one female, yeah. That's just balanced. For a remarkable performance, totally nonchalant in the hotel, and didn't give two hoots, I guess, about the uptight person who came and was complaining, and also in his performance in the survey, and no win, no fee, where he would have done anything to keep the customer. Best male, Conor Alexander. put the ones who aren't here, although just mention that she did get a lot of awards. And that was Pam Hilton, who played the headmistress and the MEP and the grandmother, yes. Very good. Unfortunately, Pam couldn't be with us today, but I'll just say it for the camera thing. Pam Hilton got a few votes and is best female. So I'll put hers to one side and we'll try and post that to her. And we'll move on to another female. Again, as a director, you want people who don't give you a lot of hassle, pick up the lines, and what I like to say, who don't act but react. That's the secret of acting. You know, because everybody can act, I can act, you know, but I can't react the way good actors can react. And that's what I look for in people. You know, who are the good reactors? And she's very good at that. And she did it in the hotel. She did it as the receptionist in Childminder, and even when we gave her a sort of a minor role in No Wind No Fee, she does come across very bossy and very, but believe you me, she's a very nice person, and she definitely deserves a lot of the awards, and she definitely gets mine if I was allowed to vote, and that's Lucy Larwell. Unfortunately, he's had to go. He was with us earlier, but he did get a tremendous number of votes. Are you on me, Ben?
Yeah.
So I've got to say this for the people who aren't here. He did a range of accents. I remember when he first came to the audition for, I think, for a feature film, and he said to me, "I can do a South African. I can do a South African." I said, "No, I don't want to hear a South African." And then he said, "I can do a Scouser." "No, don't want to hear a Scouser." And yet on the side, he was doing all these different accents. So then when this opportunity came along, I said to him, "Right, can you come along and do this?" And then we allow the actors to express themselves, but as long as we could hear them, and obviously for English-speaking people, we didn't want them to do a jokey sort of accent. But he did quite well, and he played the slightly camp social worker in, I think it's called, what's it called, Phil, that one?
Old Age.
Old Age, yeah, that's it. But unfortunately he isn't here. I don't know if anybody lives near him.
We're seeing him tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, well, do you want to give him this?
Yeah.
And his name's Ash Tandon. Never mind. And to receive it on his behalf is Connor, and he doesn't look anything like Ash. But he was here earlier.
No.
We don't need a photograph, do we? It would be you again.
It'll be me again.
But Ash was very good in that those sketches. Right, on to again. She's not here, but she's very good. And some of you may not have voted for her because she wasn't here. Perhaps, I don't know. But that's Fiona Paul, who was in Holiday. She was in Job Interview, and she was also in Recycling. You know, she had that kind of council worker attitude, if you remember. Who didn't care, looking out the window or something. And the way she changed her accent for the Job Interview was very good. It's not just about changing accents, remember. You know, you've really got to feel this part. And I had to look twice. Oh, is that Fiona? You know, which is the secret of and making the part believable. And that's what she did. So she gets an award. Ben, Fiona Paul, who unfortunately is working in a play down south, so can't be with us today. She really wanted to. Right, now we've got. Well, it's a special award actually. There's a couple of special awards which we thought we'd give to, and this is from us, just for the newcomers. But we thought, you know, come into this big world and let's see how good they are. And we gave them their break, and they kind of did okay, you know, and in some instances did better than some of the established pros. So the first award that we want to give is Best Newcomer, and that's to Leah. She was really good in both those, and she was very believable, and she worked opposite Owen, who's been doing film. He's been doing film for a long time, and it was after your first couple of appearances in front of the camera. Yeah. I mean, she'd done theatre and stuff, but it was the first on camera, and we were quite pleased with that. On the male side, unfortunately most of the males were old hands, as it were. So we searched high and low, and we found a particular male who would die for his art if he continues in it, and that's crucial as well. There was a male who did really well, and he came a long distance just to appear in this sketch, and we felt he deserved an award for that, and that's Cam Sawar. And drinking, actually, I'd say a glass of water that appeared from nowhere, magically. It's an award that we'd like to give to James Milman. Because it was a difficult award, and he did it very convincingly, I have to say. Okay, let's see. Okay, these are all yours coming through. It's another award for, although he had difficulty dealing with it, an awkward, stroppy youngster who was trying to tell his customers whatever he wanted instead of what the customer asked for. And also primarily for putting on an accent, which God knows what it was, but to this day I can't fathom what the accent was. But a good performance, and it's got some votes here, and that's Arif Javid.